stories from around Western New York that affect your life. This is Studio One with Joanna Toriano.
Welcome to Studio One. I'm your host, Joanna Toriano, and today I have with me Cris Johnson, who's going to be talking about his ability to make people disappear. Just kidding.
Thanks,
there might
Joanna.
be someone in your life that you want them to disappear. No. He's a magician. I have had the opportunity to watch his performance at the school that I work at. The kids did not stop talking about it. And it was really, really neat. I mean, this is like weeks later. In fact, that picture that you drew,
sketchy. Yeah.
They constantly, anytime we pass by, they go, "Look at his eyes.
Oh, that
Look
is
at
so
his
cool.
eyes," you know. And okay, let's go. Come on, we gotta go. You know. But they really, really enjoyed your presentation. I mean,
Oh, well, thank you.
It was really very nicely done. When did you start doing magic?
Oh, I started doing magic, back in the olden days when I was about 8, 9 years old. I got like this magic set as a kid, and I was captivated from the get-go. And I had the opportunity to see my first live show in my living room. My cousin Rebecca was dating a magician, a part-time magician who was a youth pastor at our church, and he came in and did a little show for me. And it was amazing because I was like actually in my house, and seeing magic live and in person, not just on TV with like the Doug Henning or the David Copperfield specials. And it was like absolutely, and he, it helped that he did good stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just absolutely amazing, and I was hooked from that moment on.
Is there a school that you go to? I mean, how do you learn this stuff? Is it just trial and error? I mean, what do you do? How do you do this?
Well, when I first started, it was mostly the error and less of the trial. But
Yeah.
I started off like a lot of people reading books, So kids read books, But I started off reading books, videotapes, and some stuff I created myself. And the magician I referenced a moment ago, he taught me a lot of stuff. Was kind of like an unofficial mentor for me for a while, giving me tips and everything as far as stage persona and everything. And there are conventions you can go to where some of the big guys in the industry will do they'll do like workshops on presentation and character and stagecraft, basic blocking on stage and that sort of thing, so that it's not just the tricks, not the technical aspects of the trick or the trick box or the deck of cards or whatever, but also how to present things on stage. And that's where the true art comes in. Anybody can buy a magic trick and learn how to do it, but it's how to present it, how to speak properly in front of the kids and that kind of thing. It's a little bit of everything. I took theater classes, I took acting classes, I went to a lot of magic specific workshops, but a lot of my performing techniques came from a lot of my college training, again, acting, stagecraft, theater, public speaking, that kind of thing, a little bit of voice training, that kind of stuff.
So you started this because of the man who ended up in your living room and was doing magic tricks?
He
Is that how you
infected me
started?
early, yeah.
Is that how you started it going and everything?
Yeah, and I would do like little birthday parties here and there as I got to be able, because when I first met him, I was like 10, and it was like years later, I was a teenager, and he'd been unofficially mentoring me for several years, and I started branching out, and I started off doing some gigs when he would do a show, and I would do like 10. I was like his opening act. I'd do like 10 minutes for him, that kind of thing. And then eventually I went out and I started doing my own thing, and now I'm doing these school assembly programs, and I just decided 15 years ago I was going to go pro, so I did that all through up to the present. And 10 years ago I went full time, doing mostly school assembly programs like where you saw me, and I haven't looked back since. It's been a great 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, traveling all over the country, parts of Canada and everything. We were talking before we went on the air, I'm going to Florida in a couple of weeks, much to the chagrin of my wife, because it's January as we're taping this, and, she's less than thrilled about me going to Florida without her.
Yeah. And we're not up in the cold. It's pretty nice here now, but
Right.
But we never know when the temperature is going to change.
Right.
With the school assemblies, if somebody was interested in having you come, what is it that they have to do in order to get in contact with you?
They can either call me directly or go to my website for more information. My website is elementaryschoolassemblies.com. elementaryschoolassemblies.com. All wedged together, no hyphens or anything. And my direct line is 716-283-1373. And on the website, you'll see demo videos of me actually in front of the kids, making them laugh and everything, clips from different school shows over the years, talking head testimonials of people on camera, talking about my programs, and I've actually got their names and their school and their affiliation and everything listed, so everybody knows watching the video that I just have my aunt also say something nice about me on camera. And I've got tons of testimonials on the website. I offer a lot of different topics: bullying, drug awareness, character education, reading, and a lot more. lot of good stuff.
And then how long are your shows?
They're typically about 40-45 minutes each, and then when I do, some schools have me come back and do like a nighttime fundraiser for them too, and that show is 70 minutes with a 10-minute intermission. So.
Well, tell me about the fundraisers. How does that work?
Fundraiser is something where I come to the school, and I don't charge the school directly when I'm traveling in Western New York. I don't charge the school directly. They just sell tickets to the PTA moms and the the kids in the school and everything, and then we split the ticket sales. And then I encourage the schools also to do popcorn sales and bake sales and everything, and raffles and everything, and turn it into like a big event for the community. Not only to get the parents involved with the school, get more people into the PTA, but also provide a nice fun family night too, and raise some money for the PTA. So
that's a
lot of
wonderful,
fun.
Yeah, and I like the idea of the split.
Yeah,
because that way, it could be nothing, where it could be a lot,
Yeah.
and everybody wins. So.
Most of the time when we do this, the school has me come in for a daytime assembly program, and I get the kids all fired up during the show, and then tonight when you come back, guys, I'm going to float somebody in the air. I make it snow. I bring this big 6-foot tall guillotine. Someone's going to go in it. Will they come out alive? They do.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
We build up the comedy drama aspect of it and have a lot of fun. I provide the school with flyers and announcements, things for the kids to take home to publicize the event, press releases, all kinds of fun stuff, and it's a lot of fun. We usually pack the place.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it's really a lot of fun.
Why do you have so many different topics? You said there's bullying and
Drug
character
awareness.
education. Yeah. So why did you do that?
It's because of the need mostly. I mean, some schools they focus strictly on drug awareness. Other schools they they have the DARE program. They come in and they talk to the kids. Some schools they have a big focus on bullying. Other schools they don't want to deal with the bullying. So every school has their own different needs, or different segments of the year. Different schools will have this part of the year, beginning of the year, we're going to do character education. Right before the holidays, we're going to do maybe bullying, and then October Red Ribbon Month. So it depends on what the school wants. So basically I love what I do as an artist, but as a business person I look at what the market wanted, and I created the programs for what the schools wanted. That's where it all comes from.
What kind of grades do you go to? Is it like, do you want a K and a 1 and a 2, or can you do a K and a 5? Do you do the middle school? Do you do the high school?
Yeah,
what do you do?
I do everything. I've got a different website for my high schools, but I do K through 5, K through 8, K through 12, whatever the school has. I've got different shows structured for that age level. We usually, when I go through a K through 5 school, for example, I'll do 2 programs. I'll do one for K through 2 and one for 3 through 5, and I alter the program on the age level of the kids. So in other words, the K through 2 program will be a little bit more silly, a little bit more rambunctious, and the messages that I communicate during the presentation is a little bit more simplistic. And then 3 through 5, I can get a little bit more advanced, give them some more, more food for thought, so to speak. The magic is more advanced on their level. The 3 through 5 teachers who watch the program, they're the ones that get the really good stuff, and they're like, how did he do that? And the K through 2 are like, oh, okay, that's stuff for that age level. So it's all about the age level of the kids. If I do a K through 8 school, for example, and I do a lot of K through 8 schools, I'll do like K through 4 and 5 through 8. Occasionally I've had a school say to me, we're going to do K through 8 all in one group. So you got the kindergartners and you've got the 8th graders, and and they're knocking on the door of driving and trying to find magic that they're going to enjoy and not bore the little kids is really problematic. So I always encourage the schools to break up the assembly programs, and to make it as an enticement to the school, I always offer them a free second program on the same day to encourage them to break up the age levels, because they get a better show out of me, the kids get a better experience, and the school saves some money because they're not double billed for a second assembly program.
Well, also I would think that if you wanted to go back, those kids who saw you K to 2 and now they're in 3rd grade, they're going to get a different assembly.
Exactly.
So I would think that that would be an enticement
different
right
magic
there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know many of the kids have talked about when you did you took $1 from a kid and turned it into $5, and even some of the adults said, I was sitting right there, I don't know how he did it,
Oh, that's one of my favorite tricks in all of magic, and to the viewers, I roll up my sleeves and I borrow $1 from the audience, and then my hands are empty, and I fold up the dollar bill and I unfold it, and it's in full view the entire time, and it's a $5 bill, and just and I give it to the kid to keep.
Oh, I know. That's what, because this little boy that received it, I think he has 5 or 6 brothers and sisters, and he's the one that got it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he was like, "Whoa, I got it."
I'm not above bribing my audience.
Yeah. So. What makes you different from other people who do presentations? What makes you unique?
A couple of different things. The fact that I offer a free second program, because a lot of presenters, and I'm not, criticizing them, they have like one show, whether it's K through 4, K through 5, K through 2, 3 through 5. They just have one show, and that works for them. I prefer to alter it for the kids so that they really get a message geared to their age level. When you get into the cognitive functions of a little kid versus an older kid, and it's more of a fit for them. And then another thing that makes me different is that I use magic to hold the attention of the kids, and it serves as a mnemonic, a memory hook for the presentation. Like, in other words, I never walk out in front of the kids and say, okay kids, don't do drugs, now let's do some magic. The magic is there to help enhance the concept that I'm talking about. Right. I'll give viewers a really quick example of what I do, and this is something I typically do for the older kids. This is a lot of fun. If I'm talking to the kids about respect or bullying and character education, I take this deck of cards, and the deck of cards has different words on it, like kindness and respect and compliment and intelligence, or whatever, all these different words on it. And the child picks a card of the deck of cards, and they get respect. They always get respect. That's just how magic works. And then they write their name on the card, so they know it's going to be the same card they see later. And then I talk, having those cards written with the names on it, the words on it, allows me to talk to the kids about character education. Oh, kindness, well, this means this, and I'm able to expand upon those points. And then I bring out the snake basket, and I say the snake's going to find the card. And they take their assigned card, they put it back in the deck, so the card's lost somewhere, put the cards next to the snake basket. I say the snake's going to jump out of the basket, dig through all the cards, come up with the card on the tip of his tongue, and it's going to be amazing. And then I hand the kid a squeak toy, and we play the theme from Jaws, dun, 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 and the kid's walking up toward the basket, and they're squeaking the squeak toy, and all of a sudden the snake jumps out of it's a toy snake, and it jumps out of the basket right on cue, and the kid's like, and then it's got the selected card on the tip of its tongue. So it allows me to, the whole trick is an excuse for me to talk about these different character education tips. And when I start off the piece, I say, guys, I'm going to give you a word to think about, to keep on the tip of your tongue when you're talking to other people, to remind you of being kind to them. And I say the snake's going to get your card and have it on the tip of his tongue. And at the end of the piece, I reinforce it again. Keep the word respect, kids, on the tip of your tongue, like the snake had respect in his tongue, to act as a reminder for you to think about how you treat other people.
Yeah.
So that's one example of how I use magic to actually make a point to it. It's not there just for fun. It is fun, but it's there to give the kids some things to think about.
So when you design a magic trick, do you design the trick and then figure out ways in which you can incorporate respect and kindness and all of that? That's
how I started. These days, because I've got such a big repertoire, I mean, everything's pretty much set. And for like a new magic trick, so to speak, to like crack my starting lineup, when I see like an advertisement or I read a book or something like that, if I don't have an idea for it in my head, I don't even bother to learn the trick or buy the trick or whatever the case may be. I have to have the idea of where it's going to fit before I even go to the trouble of getting the trick or learning the trick. Sometimes I'll see an advertisement, because online you can go to different magic shops and they'll play a video clip of a trick or read an advertisement in a magazine or whatever, and that will give me an idea. And sometimes I'll see a trick and go, man, that's a really cool trick, and I'll just like ruminate on it for like months, and then like months later, the idea will come to me. Oh, now I can buy the trick. I have a purpose for it. That's kind of how I do it. I mean, people do different things. Some people buy a trick and they go, well, okay, now where can I put this in my show? And that's fine too. I just prefer to do it the other way. There's no rhyme or reason to what I do. It's just sometimes things grab me. Sometimes things hit me a little bit later. Sometimes I've got a concept I want to get across in a show, and then I look through the internet or the magic magazines or in my magic book collection and try to find a trick that fits that concept, to illustrate that concept. So there's no rhyme and reason to it. It depends on the situation.
It sounds like a fascinating job. Actually, it's probably, what did they say? If you like what you do, you never work or something.
Yeah.
You never work a day in your life.
Yeah.